Hey YouTube, Denzi here with my updated Chaos Dragon deck profile for the Post-Galactic Overlord format. A couple of you guys were asking for this, and a lot of you are going to like it because I threw in the Lightsworn and tried that out, and I really like it so far. So let me know what you guys think. I'm going to jump right into it with the monsters. Got one Blackluster Soldier, pretty self-explanatory. Dark Arms, searchable by Eclipse, a lot of grave control in this deck, very good. Chaos Sorcerer. Even though Priority's gone, Chaos Sorcerer is still a fantastic card, answer to things like Zenmaines, cards you wouldn't be able to get around otherwise. 2, Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Only 2, like last time, because I don't like 3. Because you don't want to open multiples of this card. You open multiples of this card, it's just pretty much game over. And with this version of the deck, you're going to be going through your deck a lot faster, hitting Eclipse, to get this, or, getting this in the grave, which is where you want it. So, you'll be hitting the Red Eyes pretty quickly, and since Red Eyes will be going to the grave a lot more often, play 3 Light Pulsar, because it will be live more often, and, even if you mill 1 or 2, you still got that last one to draw. Pulsar is a fantastic card, really good. I play 3 of them. Then I got 2 Dark Flare. It's just that extra answer to Inzectors, extra Chaos Monster to get things going, extra Light Pulsar target. So Dark Flare is pretty good. 2 Eclipse. Only 2 because you go through your deck faster with the Lightsworn engine, and this version of the deck is a lot faster than my previous version, so you're not going to have as many situations where summoning this would be as good. I still play triple Torguide Sangan because Torguide still does all the things it did in my other version of the deck. It sets up Leviair plays, it gets out Leviathan Dragon to banish for Red Eyes, lets you sit on Zenmaines early game, and of course gets Sangan. Sangan gets you Raikou if you've got Recharge in your hand, gets you Effect Failure, gets you another Torguide to, keep going, gets you Card Trooper if you need it. I play 3 Lila, Lightsworn Sorceress, because this deck doesn't like back row, and Lila ensures that your plays get through by popping their back row, and it also mills to set up, and you can just ditch it with Recharge if you don't need it. So 3 Lila. I played 2 Raikou. A lot of people have been playing 3 Raikou, but I only like 2. People play 3 because it makes opposing Light Pulsar Dragons and Elemental Hero the Shining miss their timing, because they only get their effects if them being sent to the graveyard is the last thing to happen, and if they're destroyed by Raikou, Raikou's mill is the last thing to take place. But Raikou's bad versus Inzectors because they just pop it off, and I would rather have a favorable matchup versus them, so I only play 2 Raikou. I play 1 Card Trooper, just 1, because while I like Card Trooper, there is enough mill in this deck, and I don't like Card Trooper in certain matchups. So just 1 of him. Play 3 Effect Failure. Just really good right now. Priority's gone, so it stops basically anything. Play 2 Tragodia, because by the nature of this deck, you're going to be getting monster-filled hands a lot, and Tragodia can get and stay pretty huge. Stalls until you get your plays through. Really good versus Dark Worlds because he gets that 300 boost from Gates, and you have a bunch of different levels in this deck, so you can make different Exceed plays and steal your opponent's monsters more often than you'd think. Gorz doesn't need to be explained, especially because this deck plays basically no back row. Onto the spells. I've got the obligatory Draw It and Win card, Future Fusion. Fantastic at setting up your grave. Charge the Light Brigade, mills to set up the grave, and searches out Lila or Raikou, whichever you need. Fantastic when you pair it up with Solar Recharge. I play 3 Recharge just to get to the cards you need faster, set up the graveyard faster. Really good. 2 Forbidden Lance, because now that Priority's gone, Torrent and Bottomless and things like that are really going to hurt your Red Eyes, and Lance makes sure your plays get through. Play 1 MST, because the deck doesn't like back row. I'd rather not lose to things like Skill Drain and random mained macros. Got Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and Book of Moon. None of those really need explanation. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards exactly. moving straight on to the extra deck. Got Five-Headed Dragon for that Future Fusion. If he hits the board, you're basically winning. Got Gaia Dragon the Thunder Charger, because a lot of people side in Reaper versus this deck, and Gaia Dragon just pierces straight through it. But the main reason to play Gaia Dragon is, of course, the fact that you play Hieratic Dragon, King of Atum, because this card is amazing. It gets Red Eyes straight out of your deck, just extends your plays. Really good card. Exobeetle, because he can get pretty big with his own effect because you play a lot of high attack monsters, and also you can equip Light Pulsar to him and then, use his effect to send Light Pulsar to the graveyard, send one of their cards, and then activate Pulsar's effect, get Red Eyes. Keep going. So Exobeetle's a good card. Queen Dragon Jin, because you can use it to bring back Pulsar and then just sit on the Pulsar, and your opponent will be hard-pressed to get rid of it without setting off its effect, and it can't even be destroyed by battle until they destroy this. So, I like her. Utopia, pretty straightforward. Leviair, a lot of good plays with Leviair, because you're banishing so many cards. You can, banish Light, Dark, like a Dark and Eclipse will burn, get back the Red Eyes to your hand, use Leviair to get back the Eclipse to the field, banish the Eclipse for Red Eyes, keep going that way. A lot of fantastic plays with him. Tour Guide makes him really easily. Leviathan Dragon, it's a dragon to banish for Red Eyes, and just a good card overall. Acid Golem, you have to be careful playing Acid Golem, but he is, huge, so it's nice to have that 3,000 attack a lot of the time. Gigabrant, because your monsters are already big, and giving them that 300 extra attack makes them that much harder to get over. Like a 3,100 attack Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon can be really tough to deal with. Got Wind Up Zenmaines, just because Zenmaines is dumb, and you can sit on it forever early game. One Scrap Dragon, because it sets off your own Pulsar's effect. It's a dragon. You can go into it with Effect Veiler and Gores, and then pop the Gores token, pop their stuff. Black Rose Dragon, also a dragon, and if your opponent commits too much to the field, this is a really easy way to punish them for it. One Catastor deals with the light rays that are popular right now. And of course, Armor Arm, because your monsters are really big, the extra damage effect from Armor Arm can really be devastating. And then BLS Armor Arm still wins games. So if there's any chance of you pulling off that combo, you might as well play Armor Arm, is basically how I look at it. Alright, moving on to the side deck. I have 3 Royal Decree, because I like Decree. I don't like traps, and this deck plays no back row anyway, so you might as well just lock down your opponent's traps. A lot of times, since you don't play back row, people will be siding out their Typhoons, and it makes it that much harder for them to get around Decree. 2 Mystical Space Typhoons for, like Shadow Mirror, Macrocosmos, Dimensional Fissure, good versus Dark Worlds, Necro Valley if you come across Gravekeepers. So that's what they're for. Got Prohibitions, good versus the random decks you come across, and pretty good versus Dark Worlds, you just call Grapha. Good versus Insectors, you call Hornet. Both those decks will have a hard time getting rid of your Prohibition. Got Smashing Ground for opposing dragons and Rescue Rabbit decks. Got 3 DD Crow, because I really just don't like Insectors, and Crow stops their plays. And then they've got their, 1,000 attack monster just sitting on the field, and your dragons just kind of wreck that. It's an easy way to get in damage, especially when you combine it with the 3 effect failure you're going to have. I got 2 Spirit Reaper for rabbit decks and opposing dragons, because Reaper is a fantastic card, and your monsters are really big, so a lot of times you'll be able to get in those direct hits with Reaper and start hitting cards out of their hand. So 2 of those. And then lastly, 2 Electric Virus, mostly for the mirror match. It lets you take their Red Eyes, go off, whatever you need to do. You could side this in against Rescue Rabbit, I guess, but more often than not, they're going to be bringing in Macro against you, and Electric Virus doesn't work under Macro, so I wouldn't recommend bringing it against Rabbit. It's mostly for the mirror, but it's still a really good card. So that's the deck. That's what I have right now. So I'd appreciate it if you guys would let me know what you think. And until next time, thanks for watching. I will see you later.